It's always interesting. It's always going to be fun. We're now live.
Woo!
Pull that up here. Mute it there.
Getting it on my tablet, but that's okay. I was going to try to follow the chat on my tablet and talk on my phone.
Yeah, I'll put you right there. Boom. All right. Now, can everybody see us out there in YouTube land?
I hope so. I can't see anybody except for you.
Well, I got they were just talking up the chat. I mean,
I bet.
They got in there already, and I got my typical one thumbs down already. I think Dutch does it to me out of joking, but who am I? Let's see.
I can't access the live chat, by the way. That's what I'm
Okay. Well, I will
get to work on my tablet. It's not working.
I will feed you the questions. All right. So it looks like Christian says that they can see me. Can everybody see and hear us? Can see you both. Outstanding. Okay. Woo-hoo! All right. Okay, everybody. Welcome to the morning water break. And today, like I promised, I have a special guest. I have Wholesome Roots Homestead
in the house.
Now, see, Kitty, that's not even cool. I was just telling you we were going live because you were helping us get everything situated.
Uh-oh, what did Kitty say? Mad at me?
Hey, can you turn your phone sideways so that way you'll go full screen then?
Yeah, I got to turn off my portrait to auto-rotate.
They're so demanding.
Well, how's that?
I guess that works. It didn't bother me either way. Oh.
I don't know anything about lighting until tonight's show, so.
Oh, yeah, tonight is going to be fun. I'm excited. Tonight is their very first ever live stream. So are you nervous?
I am a little bit nervous, but I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
As long as I don't have any technical complications like I'm having right now. I can't get into the live chat on your video on YouTube on my tablet. It's not working.
What you can do is you can go to the stream itself, basically pull it up on YouTube, and mute it so that way you don't get the feedback for back and forth.
Right.
Mute it, and then you can just use that to just be able to see the chat.
But then I would lose you, wouldn't I?
Well, I'm on the phone, right?
You're on the phone. The tablet is just acting like there's no live chat happening. Not sure why. Just won't work. Silly machinery. Anyway.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you at Wholesome Roots, now is it Wholesome Roots or is it Wholesome Roots Homestead? Which one you want to go by?
Either's fine.
Wholesome Roots. I just add the homestead part.
Yeah. I usually say farmstead if I say a word because like we're on that line between homestead and a farm, you know, with 22 goats and all.
Yeah. That's a lot of goats.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll be selling a few.
No, but we don't and I don't want to steal away from your show tonight, but I know tonight you're going to be talking about this super duper crazy. Now, you're a fellow Georgian, right?
Yeah.
We got to stick together.
That's right. Got to keep each other's backs, right?
Right. And so you got a pretty, I don't want to take away from your live stream tonight, but you got a pretty cool thing happening down there tomorrow, huh?
I do. The Georgia Farmers Market Association is going to pay us a lovely volunteer visit.
That is awesome. You know, I didn't even know that there was a Georgia Farmers Market Association.
They're relatively new. I think they've been around for just a couple of years. And last year they did their first ever conference, and it was great. It was called the Food for Thought Conference, and it was a lot like the Georgia Organics Conference, where they have, you know, classes throughout the day and talks and stuff. But it was really well done. They did a great job coordinating it, and it had a lot of good information. Like, it would have like a workshop on how to get USDA grants as a farmer and stuff like that, and things that, you know, really apply to a lot of us homesteaders.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did I not know about this? They must not have what's the word I'm looking for?
Publicized.
They must not have publicized that a lot. Where was it? Was it held up around in Atlanta, or was it more in South Georgia?
No, it was up in Atlanta. Gwinnett, I think. It was great. It was great. I really, really enjoyed it. I've done the Georgia Organics Conference before, and it's awesome too, but I felt like I got more out of the Food for Thought Conference, and it was their first time doing it. So that was pretty impressive.
Really? Have they hooked up with the slow food movement or anything yet? Or is it they're just starting?
Say that they had a table set up there and everything, but I don't know how connected they are.
Because I was very involved with the slow food movement when we were in Augusta.
That's awesome.
Matter of fact, I was on a board, a committee board for the one. It basically took care of what they call the CSRA, which is the Central Savannah River Area.
Yeah.
That's basically what they called Augusta. And the home base was in North Augusta over in South Carolina. But we were in Grovetown at the time with our little small 5-acre farm that we had. And we moved up here, and that little group kind of went to the wayside down there. But I would love to get it kind of started up again here in my area, but trying to find the time to be able to do that is what's hectic.
Yeah. Time is always an issue, isn't it?
Yeah, that's always a huge thing. But I'm very
Hey. The look on my face. Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? Jason. Wait, my volume down? No. Hello? Are you there? Oh, you guys are seeing all this. Are you there? Okay, guys.
all right. There we are. Am I in it now?
You guys are seeing all this. Dude, this is funny.
Kitty sent me a invite.
I saw you like look up in the corner like you had a notification, and then it was like Big Bear hung up from this phone call. I was like, he did what?
Yeah, Kitty sent me a message on Skype. She was trying to help you be able to see the chat, and then when I tried to click out of it, I clicked the wrong one and blammo. So that one was my fault. I don't even know
Nice.
how I did it, but I did
The
it.
good news is that allowed me to switch vehicles. So
Okay.
now I'm riding in the tablet with you, and I can do the live chat on my phone.
Awesome. So we got, see, it happened for a good reason. So I'm very excited to hear about there being a Georgia's Farmers Market Association, because as far as I know, in my area, there used to be a farmers market, but I don't know if it wasn't managed correctly or what. But
And that's one of the key things that they were developed for, is to help farmers market managers and farmers who attend farmers markets to better the experience, because there was a lot of complaints about how well farmers markets were run from the farmers and the manager standpoint, and people weren't working it the best way. So they developed this organization to help people learn how to do it and get the best results from it for everyone.
yeah, I would love to be, whether if I'm a manager running it or just a farmer bringing stuff to it, I would love to be a part of a farmer's market here in Elberton or Hartwell or somewhere close. Because I think that we have, and I don't know if they do this in your area, but a lot of our churches here do food drives every month. And at the very end of my driveway, there's a church. We went to that church for a little while, and we just didn't fit. But every month they do what they call food drive, food donation, whatever, where people line up and they get boxes of food. Now, last month they seem to have gotten done really quick. So either it was A, there wasn't enough food, or B, stuff is starting to fix with the economy and everything, and people are starting to get more jobs and starting to be able to not need it, and they're not taking advantage of it. But sometimes they don't start handing out these boxes till like 8, 9 in the morning, and there are folks there at 3, 4 in the morning getting in line, especially around the holidays. And
yeah,
that makes me, one, nervous, because if anything ever was to happen, these people would naturally flock to this church expecting them to give out food, and my farm is exactly a quarter of a mile away because that's my driveway length. The other thing about it is it breaks my heart, because that just proves how far removed from our food we are now.
Exactly. That was one of the things that Ryan and I really wanted to do as our homestead turns into a farm business, is to really keep focused on helping low-income families gain easy access to organic local food.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some great farmers around here that are already taking huge steps to that. But one of the things that we thought about doing is adopting a family every summer and teaching that family through the whole entire growing season what to plant, how to plant, where to plant, what not to plant, and just going there at least once a week and really grooming them on how to grow their own food. I mean, you can give a guy a tomato, or you can teach him how to grow them. Your pick.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know if you guys do it, but with saving your own seeds, it wouldn't be that hard to take an extra tomato, for example, and put it off to the side and take those seeds and be able to take those seeds to do exactly what you're doing with that family.
Exactly.
So you really wouldn't even be out of pocket.
Obviously didn't know about my seed addiction. You didn't see that video? I have so many seeds. I'm literally gonna hand out bags tomorrow and say, people just plant. Get to work. Go plant some seeds. But I do, heirloom tomatoes is my specialty. I have over 150 different varieties of heirloom seeds.
Really?
I am a huge tomato nerd.
Wow. I'm gonna stop ordering from Baker Creek. Then I'm gonna start ordering from you.
I've got most of what they carry, not all. But
Now, did you start by using Baker Creek seeds, or did you?
Most of what I started myself, yes, was Baker Creek. I'm a huge Baker Creek supporter. But the other ones that I have are through trades, through other groups. You know, I'm a member of the Tomato Addicts group, and that's really bad for a tomato addict to become a member of. Because they just feed your addiction with more seeds and more varieties that you have to have. But it's good. I love tomatoes. We planted 300 this year. I need to get more. 300 tomato plants literally does not feed my family of 6. My 2 teenagers, oh my gosh, I bring in a basket of tomatoes like this, set them on the counter, go back out and do some more gardening. I come back and the basket's almost empty. They eat them just like apples. They just put them in their mouth and eat them. So,
that sounds
and then we
just like
pie.
here.
Huh?
So that sounds just like here. That's why one of the things that we did was we taught foraging to our kids, so that way maybe they'll just kind of eat the wild onions and the lamb's quarters and get them full on that stuff before before the harvest starts to come in. Ladessa's the worst. Ladessa's the worst. She will, when we were out picking beans last year, she probably ate 20 to 1. It was just horrific. Every time we looked over at her, she looked like a chipmunk. Her face was like that big, packed full of the, especially the dragon tongue beans. She just, and I'm like, put them in the bucket.
Well, I tell my kids, I was like, eat as many as you can. At the end of the week, I'm canning what's left.
Yeah.
So, and then we go through, no matter how many jars we can, we go through them within like the shortest period of time. We've never made it through a winter with still having cans of tomatoes because we use them so often. So I really want to be planting 1,000 tomato plants. No lie.
That's a lot.
300 is just not enough for our family, and I want to be able to take some to the farmer's market, and I want to be able to can more. So I really need to step up my game.
Now,
to meet all the needs, to truly be self-sustainable, it's a requirement for us at this point. You know, we just got.
Yeah, I mean we are having such a hard time this year with carpet grasses invading our garden to the fact, and I think what it is we finally got the soil back to being healthy, and so everything is just going cuckoo. And so basically I said, okay, I'll go back to tilling, and I'm gonna run I'll run the tractor and stuff over it a couple of times at the end of this year. And then I'm going to plant a winter rye this year. And so that way in the spring next year, I'll just till that under.
Yeah. And
hopefully that'll help choke out some of this crabgrass and junk that we've got that's just trying to take over everywhere. And
well, you know.
So, and we're going to expand the garden too. A lot of my pecan trees in this one area got all of those. They just weren't managed properly in the beginning, and so it's time to take them down and start over. And so we're going to take them out, and then this big oak out, and then I'm going to expand my garden. I'm probably going to triple the size of my garden, and then we're going to go at it. I mean, it's just the best way to put it. We've gotten, the word has started to come back out like it was in Augusta with us running meat birds and the beef and the pork and some veg. And we got folks coming from Atlanta now to purchase stuff. So
that's great.
If we want to be able to eat, we gotta expand our our growing places here.
That's the point that we're at too. Now we moved to this property 2 years ago. So this is only the second time I've actually grown in this spot. And like you said, with the weeds, oh my gosh, it was nothing but a weed bed before we started gardening. So all the weed seed, every time we till, they keep pulling them back up to the surface, and we're just crazy amount of weeds. But I know that with enough time and effort put into it, I could get rid of the weeds, but it's just a matter of getting in there, and it's hard to find time to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 4 truckloads of mulch dropped off by a tree company for free. So that's one of the main things that I want to see done tomorrow, is getting that mulch on the garden to block out the weeds, because there's just no way we can keep tilling and tilling and tilling.
Mm-hmm.
It's soft enough. It doesn't need to be tilled. It's just the weeds are the thing that we keep tilling for.
Yeah, ours literally, when we started our Back to Eden garden, we laid down cardboard and then put the compost and stuff on top. Now this would have been our third season. So in all intent and purposes, if you follow the game plan, in 2 more years we would have been putting more compost on, and then the wood chips again. But they just, I guess the cardboard and stuff finally broke down enough, but it's just grass. It looks like a fairway, almost, on a golf course. The one back end of the garden looks just almost like a fairway. And I don't know if it's because that part of the garden is a little bit too close to this one pasture that we do let the grass get up a little high, so that way we can make hay. If that has something to do with it, but it's completely different grasses. I don't know. And it could also be that the little old lady that lived at the very front part of our property, this used to be her farm back in the day. I mean, our house was built in 40 something. Her husband built it. Well, she passed away a couple months ago, and they're not putting the house up for sale or anything, but they're letting her turf grass get high, go to seed. And I'm just wondering if that's what's brought it all to my place. So, but so you guys have 15 acres, right?
Yeah, well, it's just under 15 acres, and a good chunk of that is the pond and an area that we can't reach behind the pond. So the dam is kind of an impassable. You can get right to the edge of it, and if you're in a tractor or something, you can climb that hill over the creek, but it's pretty much impossible for us to use anything back there. It's got 2 pastures back there we'd really like to use. We want to talk our landlord into doing a 5-year lease so that we can then apply for the USDA grants, so that we can get the bridge built over the dam and the fences built and the hoop houses and the wells. And you gonna help?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Great. We've all been very sick.
Oh, I'm sorry you don't feel good.
Oh, he wants coffee too, Daddy. Daddy called me coffee, now he wants it.
So when you guys bought your homestead there, was it overgrown? Was it overgrown and you guys basically had to take it back from Mother Nature, or was it kind of already in progress?
A little bit of the opposite. We didn't buy, we rent. We are currently just renting. And they had 5 horses out here on this pasture with no food. The guy was abusing his land and his animals, and they destroyed it. It was actually eroding completely. The goats and the chickens have really healed this a lot. Like just in 2 years, it's made a big difference. Because we've been rotationally grazing them through the pasture, and a lot of life has come back. We've been overseeding with clover when we can, and doing what we can to repair it in bits and pieces without putting too much of our own money into it. Like I said, we rent, so it's like we have to pick and choose which projects we want to use to improve, and know that they're there may be a time when we have to, you know, it's hopefully not anytime soon because we're planting a dang orchard.
So are you guys doing like a rent to own? Are you looking to own this place, or?
I would love to. The woman who owns it is very emotionally attached to it, so
Oh.
she's not wanting to sell it at this time at all. So we'll see. I just keep praying that, you know, all of our efforts and what we have done to improve it are gonna just impress her to the point that she's just gonna be like, okay, you know, you never know.
Now you just said you're starting an orchard there?
Yes, we planted 2 years ago when we moved it. The winter we moved in, we planted a variety of fruit trees and bushes. None of them are doing well because the deer are a huge nuisance issue, and we haven't addressed that problem because we haven't had time or money to address it. So, but they're not doing so great. But my pawpaw are doing pretty good. The deer don't seem to eat those like they do the pears and the apples and such. So that's the future I'm going towards. Then I'm like, okay, if pawpaw works here, that's what I'm gonna get more of. So we just seeded a bunch more pawpaw seeds. So hopefully expand that area.
I can't remember. I think it was D told us in our live stream one time that if you take stuffed animals and hang them up, just soak them down in like perfume or aftershave.
Oh yeah, I saw that last night comment.
Yeah, and hang them out. That's supposed to deter the deer. I don't know. My 30-30 seems to deter them well enough. We don't have.
Ryan got one of them last year, and that was as lucky as he got before hunting season ended. So
yeah. Well, that's the good thing about our state, though. I mean, we're allowed what 12 deer a year, you know, and only 2 of them got to be bucks. So that's really good until they change the rules again. And it seems like they're extending the seasons longer and longer each year. So maybe next year he'll be able to have more time to be able to get out there. Now, you're not nervous by, and if I'm getting too personal, just tell me shut up. But if you guys are not nervous that you guys are going to make all these improvements and then she's like, okay, you got to go.
I think that there's a certain level of nervousness with that, but then there's the other side of that is
I'm live.
The best time to plant an apple tree is 20 years ago. The next best time is today. And if we aren't here to harvest those apples, somebody will be. Somebody will benefit from the fruits of our labor, and hopefully not just cut it all down or something, but you know, it'll feed somebody's family is my hopes, you know. Mm-hmm. And I think we have a close enough relationship with her that, you know, if she passes it along to her granddaughter's gonna let us come and pick apples. You know, I mean, it's not like we're gonna be booted and not allowed to ever touch the property again. You know what I mean?
That's good.
What she would boot us is for her granddaughter to move in. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good.
Now, so.
Yeah. I always get nervous when it comes to stuff like that. Like when we were renting this place before we because when we got this place, the family that we bought it from, they just moved. They just moved out. And the grass got up so tall it was over my son's head. And when they tried to have it appraised, it wouldn't appraise for what they owed on it because it, you know, nobody in their right mind would have praised it for that with it looking in the shape that it was in. So we came in and rented it for a year, and because of all the work that we'd done, we made them, we wrote up the contract that a good portion of the rent went towards as a down payment. And we got it to where the very next year it appraised at what they were asking for, and so then we bought it. but I wasn't going to put a lot of, I don't know. And that was just me. It was just a feeling that I guess that I had with them. And I wasn't going to put a lot into it until it was mine. And
Well,
now we've been running wide open here that they probably wouldn't even recognize the place. As many trees that we have taken out to open things up, as many areas that we have claimed back from Mother Nature through removing trees and briars and all that kind of stuff, that I don't think they would have recognized the place. So I mean that's I'm glad that you guys have that relationship with that lady, because I would have loved to have been able to have that type of relationship with the people that we bought this from, because we'd be so much further ahead in the game.
well, we were friends. We were friends before we rented from her, so she knew that we were looking for a homestead to buy, is what we were doing. So property, which was already a homestead pretty much, came available. She said, "Do you want to rent it?" And we were like, "Yes," because the place we were renting at the time, we were. Now this will tie into what you were saying about not wanting to plant anything. So when I left my ex-husband and moved out, I moved into a um, questionable living. No, it was nice, but it wasn't. There were a lot of issues. And I told myself it was just for a year to get off my feet. I would find something better and move somewhere better. And I didn't do anything. The next year, I still hadn't found anything better. I didn't plant anything. Next year, I still hadn't found anything better. I still didn't plant anything. And all this time, I wanted to plant apple trees and pear trees and peach trees and, everything trees. And I kept putting it off because I thought I was going to move. We ended up being there for 6 years. If I had planted an apple tree when I first moved in, I would have been eating apples.
Yep.
So that's why we totally changed our frame of mind when we moved to this place. We said, you know what? We don't know how long we're going to be here. We could be here for the next 20, 50 years. We have no idea. Like, we can't look at it as we're what if we move? We can't what if it anymore. Like, we have to put down our roots and just get established. And whether that changes in the future or not, it's all in God's hands. We just have to hope that we can get this property someday. And if not, somebody else hopefully will enjoy it.
Paying it forward.
I'm sorry, you guys. I haven't really been looking at the chat.
So how did you get involved with the Farmers Market Association that you're able to get this free labor that you got coming tomorrow? That's got to be exciting.
It's very exciting. I don't remember how I met her. I was trying to think about the story last night. I'm like, how in the world did I become friends with Sadrina? She's the leader of the Farmers Market Association, and I think we had some mutual farmer friends on Facebook. Like, I was friends with some farmers that she was friends with, and at some point somebody said, "Oh, Sadrina would love that," or something like that, and tagged her, and we became friends. One of those type of relationships. Nice. And so she started following our journey, not just through YouTube, but through my personal Facebook page, and she was really impressed. She liked what we were doing. She liked how we were doing it. She thought that there was a real strong movement happening that we were key part of, that we were really helping push and promote and be a part of. And I think that really touched her. And she started featuring us in her newsletter. She started, she got me a great scholarship for the conference so that I could go to the conference. Because, I mean, let's face it, you guys know homesteads don't make money. I mean, you might make enough money to cover the cost of feed, but you're not truly making money. And my husband's a farmer. He works at a sheep farm, so he doesn't make any money either. So the whole trying to make things meet and still homestead without going broke. She really liked to see that we were doing it, that we were homesteading
even though it wasn't making us rich, and that we were slowly getting better at it, slowly making a little bit more and making improvements so that we could make a little bit more. Every year it's just going to improve. The more we put into it, the more we're getting out of it.
That's true. That's one of the things that, you know, homesteading, trapping, art, YouTube, you don't get in them for the money. Because you've got to do so many different avenues with homesteading to be able to make sure all the monthly bills are paid. You can't put all your hopes and dreams into transporting meat chickens, you know, dragging meat birds across your pasture and expect to be able to pay the mortgage. You've got to definitely have different revenues. That's why we have meat birds. We've got beef. We've got pork, honey. Well, we didn't have honey this last year, but we've got 3 new hives again this year. You know, vegetables, fruits, jams, jellies. It's just amazing at the different avenues. The one thing I don't like about our state is they want you to have a special license for everything. You got to have.
Oh, I know. That's part of my biggest dilemma is applying for each of these licenses. You know,
Yeah.
like I have to wait. Okay, no, I can't do that out of this paycheck. Got to wait for the next paycheck because I got to pay all these fees and stuff just to have a license. They don't even do anything to check that I'm doing anything. They just want me to pay them money for a piece of paper that says I can do it.
Yeah, it's like $30 to be able to do anything with quail besides eat them yourself. It's
really?
like it's $100 for the cottage license, and you got to have your well water tested every year, which is another like $30 to $100. Then if you want, you got to get your egg candling license, which doesn't really cost anything, but it's just a huge.
Find the class near you. I've been trying to get into the egg candling class for a year.
It's pathetic. They should literally not make people that want to sell eggs have to wait to find this class close to them. They should offer it online, because I'm not lying.
Exactly. Everybody told me it's super easy.
It's a huge aggravation, because Blaze and I went and did it, and they when you walk in the door, they hand you a bunch of these pamphlets, okay? And then pretty much the guy that stands in front of the room, he'll show you some slides, and then it's pretty much small talk after that.
Exactly.
There was, in my class, I'm not making this, I mean, because you can't make this up. There was almost a 45-minute conversation about how you boil an egg. I was like the most unpopular guy in the class, because I finally stood up and I said, seriously, I learned how to boil an egg when I was 11. Can we please, I drove 2.5 hours to get here for this class. Please don't tell me that the majority of my day is going to be talking about culinary things. Tell me what I need to know to be able to get this license, so that way I can go about my merry way and get back. And it was just, I mean, it was just a huge waste of time. And praise the Lord, my son has a photographic memory. I said, read these pamphlets. And he went through and read them. And then they handed out the test. They did not cover one thing that was on the test. My son got down to like 2 seconds. He went to stood up. I grabbed him by his pants and pushed him back down. I said, let me see your paper. You know, he got 100. I made myself get a 95. You know, it was a huge waste of time. And so you got to get that license. And like, you got to pay, if you have raw milk, you got to pay $80 to get a sticker, to get stickers that says for pet consumption only. And then
another $45 for the pet feed license to go with it.
Yeah.
You got 2 licenses for the pet milk.
And it's like, really? Now, what really drives me crazy about our state, if you have a greenhouse and let's say you sow 2,000 tomato seeds, and you got lucky and 1,500 of them came up, and you only wanted 1,000. for you to be able to sell those just those 500 tomato seeds, you have to purchase a $175 plant resale license.
Yep.
You can't get the $65 one because it's a vegetable. But if you were selling aloe, you could get the $65 one, but because you're selling a vegetable, it has to be the $175 one.
Oh, I didn't know there was a difference in vegetable versus non-vegetable. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody about the live plant license, and they did not mention that. And they're selling vegetables. I wonder if they knew there was another one.
Yeah, there's a one. I think it goes fruits and vegetables versus this. But there's one that's like $65, and I might be wrong. It might be the $65 one because my wife was reading it and complaining about it, so I only listened to like 10% of what she was saying. But the one license, it's either the difference between it's either just flowers and greenery plants, and then the other one is all plants with fruits and vegetables. Or it was that you can only sell them in your county for the $65 ones, and then the other one is you can sell them wherever. And it's crazy that they do that. And then they also have what was the other license that I was going to talk about?
Safe food handling or something like that.
Yeah, you got to get that for the cottage license too. Now, luckily, Robin was a manager at Arby's, and she got the food safe handling license thingamabob, whatever. Now, the nice thing about that is when you pass that test, it's good for 5 years, and then after 5 years, it's instead of it being like $200, it goes down to like $30, and you got to take another test. Serve Safe, that's what it's called, Serve Safe, and so that's nice. And
then if you want to do Georgia grown, you got to do the Georgia grown thing. And then if you want to do, it's like all the different little things that you got to pay for to really stand out in the market.
Yeah. And have you looked to see what it takes to become certified organic?
The good thing about that is there's so many grants now. You can get certified organic without spending a lot of money these days because of the grants that they're providing.
Well, the one thing that I read is that you've got to be able to show that you made $5,000 or more off of your farm before they'll even come and look at your farm.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you're not allowed to use certified organic until you get certified. You're not even supposed to even use the word organic. So that's when I started trumping them, and we started saying we're just better than organic because we don't spray at all.
I actually learned in one of those classes at the Food for Thought conference that if you are under 5,000 in sales, that you can actually use the word organic.
So you can use it now? I just tell everybody I'm better than organic because we learned that at least in Georgia, they're allowed to use certain amounts of certain chemicals and still be able to keep their organic certification.
So what I'm looking at doing, I don't know if you're familiar with it, is the certified naturally grown. Certified naturally grown. It's really a lot of the farmers here in my area are doing that when they are growing organic and they can't afford to do the organic certification.
Mm-hmm.
They just certify naturally grown, which you just have another certified naturally grown farmer come out and inspect your processes and make sure that you're doing it organic, and it's a very low fee. I don't remember what it is, but it's not much at all compared to organic.
I'm gonna have to look into that then to see if we can't grab that too.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell everybody about your first ever live stream that's coming up, because we're coming close to the end. Tell everybody about that, and then anything else that you want to share.
All right. So tonight, 8 o'clock, after Big Bear's show is over, we're gonna go live for the very first time, and we're gonna talk about our event tomorrow, and we're gonna open it up for question and answers. And if Liam doesn't take over the show, then I might get to talk. But he wants to show you his gummy bear vitamins.
What? You got gummy bear vitamins? No,
holding
let me see. Where can I get me some cool gummy bear vitamins?
Where are you gonna get those? You gonna go to the store? Oh, he's handing it to you. There you go.
That's awesome. Take
Yeah,
it. So tonight you're going to tell us all about the event.
Yeah,
now,
so they're sending out volunteers, and we're gonna put them to work in the garden and hopefully get some stuff finished out there, because we were already really behind, and then this sickness hit us, and we haven't done a thing all week, and the weeds are like this tall out there right now, like in the area that we just tilled. And I'm like, gosh, stop it. Like, give us a chance to plant before you start growing at least.
I know the weather's been crazy. Have y'all got a lot of rain on your side of the state?
It's been off and on. So it's been just enough rain to keep those weeds healthy.
Mm-hmm. Same here. Yeah, it seems like we'll get 2 or 3 days of rain, and then we'll get a week or so of good, nice weather, and then it'll rain again. I hope it keeps that up. To be honest with you, I hope it keeps it up most of the summer like that. I hope we don't have to suffer through that drought again like we did last year. That means we'll get a lot of good hay cuttings too.
I know. I do not want that drought to hit us again. I'm really hoping to not have to water too much this year. I need to figure out how to get the water from my pond and use that for watering, because it's just too much. We're not on a well, so we have to pay for our water.
Oh. That's
so we have a big water tank that we're trying to collect rain in, but none of the buildings have downspouts. None of them have gutters, so it's kind of like aim for the part of the roof that collects the most water.
Mm-hmm.
And when you rent, you don't really add those things on.
Yep.
I'm not supposed to be building anything on the building.
Yep. You gotta be careful with that kind of stuff. So, okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on this morning with us. I had a wonderful time chatting with you. Learned so much. We're going to have to try to make a trip over there and visit you guys here in the near future. Because you're probably going to be, we're trying to make a trip to go over to see Daniel from Gopher Green, and then eventually Alderman Farms. So you would probably be right en route to Alabama and Mississippi. So I had to try to.
Yeah, you'd come within 10 minutes. We're just 10 minutes off 85. So.
Yeah. So yeah, we would definitely have to try to make that where we stop and visit you guys. Now, we're trying to have a meet and greet around this area in July, about July 15th, for the Homesteaders of America's conference. So hopefully you guys will be able to come over that way and hang out. That meetup's going to be really, really cool. We're going to have a lot of people there. So, but guys, thanks for coming today. We appreciate it. I hope you guys have went over there and subbed Wholesome Roots channel. And I hope you guys are going to tune in tonight for her very first ever live stream, where she's going to be talking about the Georgia's Farmers Markets Association Volunteer Day on her farm. It's going to be a huge event there on her homestead, and she's going to be able to get a lot of benefits out of all of these people that are coming, and she'll be able to teach. That's the most important thing, is to be able to teach and be able to get people reconnected with their food. So again, thanks for coming by. Don't forget us tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time, with our special guest Brian from Brighton Entertainment. He's going to be talking production. And then don't forget, right after us, we got Wholesome's Roots at 8 p.m. Eastern time for their very first ever live stream. And that one's definitely one we don't want to miss. So thank you guys for coming. Remember, be kind to one another and to do your part in helping to take care of this planet, because, hey, we only got one. We'll see you guys later this evening. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thanks.
Thank you, JD.